Today, we're going to dive into a text that's just absolutely profound. It's a conversation that tries to tackle the biggest, most fundamental questions we could ever ask about our existence. This is the story behind the Vishnu Sahasranamam, the 1,000 names of Vishnu. But let's start with a sound, not a fact. These are the opening lines, a traditional invocation. See, before any great undertaking, a prayer is offered to clear away obstacles. It's all about setting the stage, preparing your mind and spirit for the wisdom that's about to unfold. So where does this incredible wisdom even come from? Well, the setting is unbelievably dramatic. Picture this. The colossal Kurukshetra war from the Mahabharata has just ended. The battlefield is soaked in the blood of loved ones, of family. And the victorious king? He's completely shattered by the cost of it all. This is where our story kicks off. And right at the heart of this moment, you have two amazing figures. On one side, there's King Yudhishthira, our seeker. He's won the war, but he's totally lost his peace of mind. He is just desperate for an answer that can heal his soul. And on the other side, the great sage Bhishma, who is literally lying on a bed of arrows, waiting for the right moment to pass on. And it's in this final sacred window of time that he agrees to share everything he knows. So what does a king who has everything but feels like he has nothing even ask? I mean, Yudhishthira doesn't ask for more power or wealth. No, he asks the kind of questions that have been echoing through human history forever. Just look at how comprehensive this is. He's basically asking, who is the ultimate reality? What's our highest purpose here? How do we actually connect with that reality to find some peace and goodness? What's the single best path to take? And then, after laying all that out, he hits Bhishma with the most urgent question of all. And this right here, this just gets to the core of his suffering. Kim Japan Miyache, by chanting what, by holding on to what one single thing, can a person finally break free from this endless cycle of birth, death, and sorrow? This isn't some academic debate. It's a gut-wrenching plea for freedom. So Bhishma, with his last few breaths, holding on to a lifetime of wisdom, gives his answer. And what he says is, well, it's both shockingly simple and unbelievably deep. He doesn't launch into some dense intellectual lecture that would take another lifetime to figure out. He doesn't prescribe some impossible set of rituals you could never hope to follow. Instead, he gives you this Yudhishthira, and really all of us, something direct, something accessible, and something incredibly powerful. A practice that anyone, anywhere, can actually do to find a liberation they're looking for. This is it, right here. This is the absolute heart of the matter. Stuvan Nama Sahasrana. The way to liberation, the answer to all 6 of those massive questions, is by constantly praising the divine through his 1,000 names. That's the whole shebang. That's the Vishnu Sahasranama. Okay, so why this specific practice? What is it about praising with 1,000 names that has so much transformative power? Well, Bhishma doesn't just give the answer, he basically provides the instruction manual too. Now, what's so interesting here is how this whole process works. It's not just, mindless repetition. It starts with the verbal praise, then it adds the emotional part, devotion, then it engages your mind through meditation, and finally, it completes the circuit with the physical act of surrender. It's a totally holistic practice for your entire being. And the results Bhishma promises are, well, they're total. He says this one practice will let you overcome all sorrow. It gets rid of sin and fear. He calls it the highest of all dharmas, the ultimate good and the most direct path to liberation. It's the one single answer to every single one of Yudhishthira's questions. All right, now let's pop the hood and see how this thing is actually built. Because this isn't just some random list of names somebody came up with. The text itself gives you what you could almost call divine liner notes, a kind of spiritual technology that explains exactly how the chant is put together and why it works. Before the 1,000 names even start, the text lays out this preparatory practice called nyasa. It's a really fascinating idea. You mentally install the key components of the mantra onto your own body, almost like you're tuning your entire being to the exact frequency of the chant you're about to start. This blueprint here lays it all out. The rishi is Veda Vyasa, the sage who first perceived these sacred sounds. The Chandis is the poetic meter, the rhythm that gives it its power. The Devata is the deity being invoked. And then you get the Bija, the seed sound that holds the mantra's essence, and the Shakti, the divine energy that brings the whole thing to life. So, the most important thing to get is this. The Vishnu Sahasranamam presents itself as a meticulously crafted spiritual tool. Every single element, from the rhythm to the seed sound, is designed for a very specific purpose: to elevate and transform the consciousness of the person chanting it. And it all comes back to this number: 1,000 names. Each name is a different facet of the divine, a different quality to meditate on. And together, they form a complete path, a whole universe of sacred sound. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? In a moment of absolute despair, when a king begged for the ultimate truth, the answer wasn't some ideology to believe in. It was a practice to engage with, a path built on devotion, consistent remembrance, and the incredible power of sacred sound. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In our own lives, which are so full of endless complexity in our own search for answers, is it possible that the most powerful solutions aren't the most complicated ones, but are instead found in these simple, sustained acts of focus and devotion?